Welcome to Knife Thoughts. This video is going to be a comparison and review of a few different EDC pouches or wallets from Viperade. So first of all, if you follow my channel, you know that my main interest is in knives. I really, have a love for knives, especially traditional knives like this one, but I also appreciate EDC. I carry other things other than knives like pry bars and flashlights, and I just like to have my stuff organized. So I have actually had pouches and organizers like this for a long time. I even made one for myself when I was about 18, which is a real rough example. But I got a Zero Feud pouch at Blade Show in 2023 and have been carrying it in my bag, but I decided that I wanted to have something a little bit smaller that I could use as a wallet specifically. And so Viperade has a whole bunch of different options, from full-on bags all the way down to very small EDC kind of organizers with Velcro and elastic loops and things like that. Pretty much anything you might want, they have a size and a configuration for that. So I actually purchased these two. This is the VE18s, which is the smaller version of the VE18, and this, which is the VE28 from Amazon. Just bought them and was using them. And then I reached out to Viperade on Instagram and asked if they'd be interested in sending this one, which is the VE17, because it was a little bit smaller, and that was something that after using these ones I thought that I would like. So I'm going to kind of talk about these two first. These two are about the same size, and then this one next. And I first of all want to give you a comparison to some of the other EDC pouches that you might see. This is a Vostede branded EDC pouch, but honestly I would guess that it's either made by Viperade or by the same manufacturer that Viperade uses, because it is very similar. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar, and it's the same type idea but bigger. So this one has a zipper on the front here, a zipper on the side. This one's actually my son's EDC pouch. So you got a pencil, you can have a notebook, but this for me is just a little bit too big to carry. This is something that I would put in a bag like the pouch, but the pouch offers a little bit more space, and stuff is on the inside versus the outside and things like that. So I like this size for in a bag, but not so much for in the pocket. Even in your back pocket, for me, it's just a little bit big. So that's why I initially looked into these two, the VE18s and the VE28. So the main difference between these two is on the other side here. You see these two sides are very similar. You've got kind of a small notebook pocket or a wallet pocket. You can definitely fit card size things. This is the size of a credit card. You can fit these in here. It's just that there's no kind of retention system. There's no Velcro or snap or zipper. But then you've got a little bit of a larger pouch here, which depending on your light, it could fit. I have been carrying this light, which is a Nebo Slim Mini, which is a very thin light, and that fits well in there. And then a little bit of a smaller pouch, which can fit something like a pry bar. This is an axial pry bar, but I was carrying a Nice Guy Machine Company Ladyfinger Pinky in this for a long time, and that's pretty much the same on these two. When you flip it over, it's a little bit different. So you can see you've got a thinner pouch here, or slot, I guess I should say, on the VE28, which would be good for a pen. And then you've got a bigger pouch on both of them. So for me, I actually don't carry a pen. I know a lot of people do. It's like a good thing to carry and everything. Sometimes I do have reason to use a pen, but for me, I just don't really carry them that often because I don't use them that often. I use my phone for notes. If I found myself in a situation that I didn't have my phone and needed to take a note, it would be pretty unusual. So for me, I don't really use the pen. I did try it with a Fisher Space Pen. So I actually keep it in the Zero Fuel pouch, but you can see that it fits nicely in here. You could probably fit a AAA flashlight in this also, but I think this or even this is better off for a AAA size flashlight. This, you might be able to fit a very small knife, but what I found with this bigger pouch on both of these is that it can fit a lot of small to medium sized slip joints. So this could actually act as your slip joint pouch also. So instead of carrying your slip joint separately in, a slip, let me find the right size slip here. I'll just use this Jack Wolf. So instead of carrying your slip joint separately in its own slip, you can have everything, or almost everything, in your wallet. So I do like that, and I use that for that quite a bit. The other difference here is that this VE18s has Velcro, whereas the VE28 doesn't, so you can put your Ranger eyes on there. For me, honestly, I did try it with that for a while, but it just adds some extra thickness that, I'm not really taking that many pictures for Instagram with my wallet, so not something that I find super necessary, but it's something that, a lot of people enjoy, so, there's nothing wrong with it if that's something you do enjoy. But then the main difference here is that this has this side zipper pocket versus, again, the pen pocket. So it gives you this nice sized pouch here, which for me, I was using to carry my Barlow Bearcat coin. So this is a club, same thing you see on the bolster of this knife here, that I run or help run for Barlow enthusiasts and traditional knife enthusiasts. I've never really carried a coin before, but I do like carrying this, and it goes well in there, as well as you can put cash in there, but unfortunately cards don't fit in there. It's just really tough to get them in. Now they do fit in this zipper pocket, and this zipper pocket, both of these have, they're pretty much the same size, length, and it really, one thing that I wish was different about all of these is how they do the zipper. Now, what I mean by that is, for these zippers, because you have these reinforcement things here, it's not really as long as it could be. So you can get your cards into there, but honestly, you have to kind of, cant them. You have to kind of rotate them and put it in edgewise and then rotate it down. And so, not ideal for me. I do wish that the zipper went kind of maybe to here and here versus, ending there. I think it would just make it easier to get cards in and out of, and with, my intention for these being used as a wallet, that would be something I would appreciate. But like I say, you can use these large pouches here for cards. So that's something that I didn't really try, and I think I will try on the VE18s, because to be honest, between these two, I do prefer the VE18s. I just like having the two zippers versus having, the pen pouch there or slot. I think you could still throw a pen into this one if you wanted to. So I prefer the VE18s. You've got these two paracord loops also, so I put my keys on one of these, whereas you have one on this. So you could put your keys on it, but you could have a lanyard on one and a key on the other for the VE18s. So I prefer the VE18s over the VE28. But I've been carrying this VE17 for a while, and this one is kind of advertised as this pouch here being a coin pouch. So for me, I actually didn't carry the coin in that pocket because it just felt kind of loose. If you have a coin in here, particularly without any cards, it can fall out of there real easily. So you can see it's a pretty loose pouch. So instead, I carried my cards in that pouch. So I would put my cards in there and, have them there, use them when I needed them and everything. This is a smaller pouch overall, but you can still easily fit the Nebo Slim Mini, which again, this is my preferred, EDC pouch or wallet flashlight, just because it's so thin, and a pry bar. And those are really all the things that I that I have a great desire to carry in my wallet. Now, of course, there's a bunch of other stuff that you might want to carry if you really wanted to be, fully kitted out or whatever. So for example, here in this Zero Feud, I've got scissors, I've got some sharpening stones, a notebook, I've got the wrench, or pliers, I guess, and a lighter and a can opener. But I don't really need most of that stuff that often. These are things that I do use relatively frequently, but not necessarily enough that I want to have like a dedicated one in my pocket. I'd rather just be able to pick up my wallet and have them with me. So I like that this, even though it's smaller, fits these two tools in it really pretty comfortably. And that's one nice thing, is when I was carrying this, which I have carried this a lot, it wasn't obtrusive. Even with the clips on these, it felt like a pretty normal wallet size, whereas even this VE18s still feels a little bit big in the pocket, in my opinion. So I do like the size of this VE17. Sorry for the bump there. Now, one thing, even with having cards, it feels a little bit loose having the cards in here. Not necessarily something that I love, because I don't want to lose my cards, and have to deal with all of that. So I would like it if this was just like a full length zipper, a zipper that went all the way from one edge all the way to the other edge, rather than, again, these kind of reinforcements like on the VE18s. That would be ideal for me. These two slots and a full length zipper here, and then a zipper here for cash and, again, a coin. That's what I put in here, is cash and a coin. And that works perfectly fine. Now, this one also has the Velcro. It actually has a lot of Velcro, so you can, again, put your Ranger eyes and such on there. But again, I didn't use it on this because it just adds a little bit of thickness that isn't really necessary for me. So I think it would have been nice to have this type of webbing, whatever this is. I don't know if this is Molly, but whatever that is on here, really only so that when I teach a martial art as part of my work, and so, got to take my knife out of my pocket, and but I still want to like have my stuff around rather than in my locker or whatever. So I do like the ability on this VE18s to clip stuff to that webbing. So I would rather have this have the webbing than this Velcro. It would just be more useful for me. But overall, I really like the size of this. I guess I wish I could kind of get a custom one made that has exactly what I'm looking for. But Viperade has a lot of options, and I definitely have other options that I'm still interested in. So hopefully I will get to check out and try out more and see if I can find the exact, EDC pouch that I'm looking for. It's one of those things you're always kind of on the lookout, search for if you're an EDC crazy person like me. The Viperade VE17, VE18s, and VE28 are all good EDC pouches depending on what you want to use them for. I think what you want to do is really look at the slots that are available, the pouches or zippers that are available, and see what you want and go with that. Just be aware that these side pouches are just long enough for cards, or these edge pouches, I guess I should say, edge zippers. And this side zipper is, in my opinion, not long enough for a card. And this side or edge zipper on the VE17 is not long enough for a card, in my opinion. So those are, just something to be aware of. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Leave any comments below. If you have recommendations for me for EDC pouches, I would really love to hear them. There's a couple from Viperade that I'm interested in trying, as well as some others. But if you have recommendations, let me know. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and select all so you know when I post new videos. Go to my website, knifethoughts.com, where I post articles on knives and EDC, things like this. And make sure you subscribe to the email newsletter there. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.